Hey everyone. So, if you run an e-commerce brand, you know that your fulfillment strategy can literally make or break your business. Today, we're diving deep into a massive decision. Do you stick with Amazon FBA or do you move to a third-party logistics provider, a 3PL? We're going to figure out which model is actually going to save you more money and, just as importantly, set you up for real long-term success. Yeah, this is the question that probably keeps a lot of you up at night, right? You see all this great revenue coming in, but when you look at the bottom line, it just feels like something is quietly eating away at your margins. Well, 9 times out of 10, that culprit is hiding in your fulfillment costs. All right, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll get the basics down. What exactly are FBA and 3PL? Then we'll jump into a head-to-head cost comparison. After that, we're talking about brand control, how to scale beyond Amazon, that all-important Prime badge, and we'll wrap it up with a simple framework to help you decide. Let's dive right in. All right, first things first, before we get into the weeds, let's just make sure we're all on the same page and really understand what these two models are all about. So with FBA, or Fulfillment by Amazon, you're basically handing over your entire logistics operation to the big A. You ship your stuff to their warehouses, and they handle the whole shebang. Storage, picking, packing, shipping, all of it. It's super convenient, and it gets you that magical Prime badge, which we all know is a huge driver for sales. You just have to play by their rules, and they take care of the rest. Now, a 3PL, think of them as your independent behind-the-scenes partner. They're all about flexibility. They'll store your inventory and ship out orders not just from Amazon, but from your own Shopify store, from TikTok Shop, from Walmart, literally wherever you sell. And here's the key part. They let you control that customer experience with things like your own custom branded packaging. And when you lay it all out like this, you can really see the core trade-offs, can't you? FBA gives you that incredible Prime badge and simplicity, but it locks you into their world with their standard brown boxes. A 3PL, on the other hand, gives you complete control over your branding and makes selling on multiple channels a breeze, but you lose that Prime badge by default. At the end of the day, it really boils down to convenience versus control. All right, let's get to the part everyone's been waiting for. Let's follow the money. Because for most businesses, this decision really comes down to the dollars and cents. Let's see how they stack up. So the first thing you've got to understand is that these two services charge you in completely different ways. FBA kind of bundles a lot of things together into one fee per unit, but then they hit you with extra fees for storage and especially for inventory that sits too long. 3PLs, however, they unbundle those costs. You pay for each specific action, a fee to pick an item, a fee to pack it, a fee to receive a pallet. That transparency can be a massive advantage as you start to grow. Okay, and this is where the difference really hits you. Let's imagine a brand that's shipping about 3,000 units a month. With FBA, you could be looking at over $17,000 in fees. But with a typical 3PL, that cost can drop to just over 10 grand. I mean, the difference is absolutely staggering once you hit a certain scale. We're talking almost $7,000. That's every single month. Think about that for a second. For a growing brand, that's not just extra profit. That's the money you can pour back into marketing, into developing your next big product, or into hiring that key person you need. The financial impact here is just massive. But look, it's not just about the dollars and cents, right? Let's talk about something that can be even more valuable in the long run, controlling your brand's destiny and the actual experience your customers have when they get your product. Just take a look at this breakdown. With FBA, every single one of your customers gets the exact same Amazon-branded box. You can't slip in a thank you note or a coupon for their next purchase, or do any cool product bundles. With a 3PL, you own that entire unboxing experience. You design the box, you choose the inserts, you even get to set your own returns policy. You can turn what's normally a cost center into a moment that builds real customer loyalty. In that control, it becomes absolutely critical when you start thinking bigger, when you start thinking about the future of your brand. The choice you make today directly affects how easily you can grow tomorrow. You know, this is a path we see brands go down all the time. You start on Amazon with FBA because, hey, it's easy, but then you launch your own Shopify store, and you suddenly realize that using Amazon to fulfill those orders, what they call multi-channel fulfillment, is clunky and super expensive. The smart play is to move to a 3PL that lets you put all your inventory in one central place, use your awesome branded packaging for every order, and slash your fulfillment costs. It's just the natural evolution for a brand that's serious about growth. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. There is one pretty big catch. If you move your Amazon fulfillment away from FBA, you lose that powerful little Prime badge. And that can change everything. So this is it, isn't it? This is the number one fear that holds sellers back. That Prime badge means trust. It means fast, free shipping. So what really happens to your sales when that little logo disappears from your listing? Well, the data doesn't lie. For a lot of competitive products, losing the Prime badge can cause your conversion rate to drop by 20, even 30%. That's a huge hit to your sales. So yes, that fear is absolutely real. But what if I told you that you don't actually have to choose between the Prime badge and having brand control? And this is where the pros really separate themselves. Instead of thinking either or, the smartest brands are using a hybrid model that truly gives them the best of both worlds. This little table here lays it out perfectly. The hybrid model lets you cherry pick the absolute best features from both worlds. Here's how it works. You keep a portion of your best-selling products in FBA to hold onto that valuable Prime badge. But then you use a 3PL for everything else. For all the orders from your own website, for slower-moving products, for new product launches and custom bundles. You get the Prime visibility and you get full brand control. It's the ultimate power move. Okay, so after all that, the big question remains, which one is right for your business right now? Let's give you a super simple framework to help you figure it out. Look at this table. It really simplifies the whole thing. If you're just starting out, selling only on Amazon with less than, say, 500 orders a month, FBA is probably your best bet. It's simple. But the second you branch out to your own website, or the moment that unique brand experience becomes a priority, the logic flips to a 3PL. And as you really start to scale up towards 5,000 orders a month and beyond, that's when you absolutely need to be looking at a 3PL or that sophisticated hybrid model. You just got to match your fulfillment strategy to where you are now and where you're trying to go. And really, it all boils down to this one last question you need to ask yourself. Are you just putting out today's shipping fires? Or are you actually building a logistics foundation that can support the incredible brand you want to become 2, 3, or even 5 years from now? Look, I know this is a lot to take in, and choosing the right path can feel pretty overwhelming. But you don't have to figure it out all on your own. At StarterX, we build and scale brands like yours every single day, so we live and breathe this stuff. If you just want to talk through your specific situation, book a free, no-pressure consultation with one of our e-commerce experts. We'd be happy to help you map out the right path with confidence.